How's it? I'm Jonathan Penner.
I'm Wilmin Rousseau.
And both of us are actors. What's basically going to happen is we're taking you through the practical area of acting. This is mainly for people or anybody who either wants to be an actor or is interested in the business, or maybe actors who are just starting out, or maybe models who want a couple of tips on acting and a couple of tips on audition techniques. The basic things that we're going to be running through is A, what do you need as an actor? Starting out, what do you need, A, in your hands? What do you need in your heart? You know? We'll be moving on to things like choosing an agent, very important. Getting the right headshots, how to go about that. Your CV, you know? You need something on your CV when you're starting out.
The challenge of inventing a CV when there is none.
Absolutely. Then once you've got your agent, actually getting the call for an audition. And whoopee. And you take that, and now you've got to prepare for the audition. And what we go through to actually prepare for an audition, the best way to go about it, from our experience.
The first DVD set is not about teaching you how to act. It's attempting to give you a certain confidence, a practical confidence in how to get your headspace around the practical demands of an industry that expects you to know these things. So it's no good knowing how to act and not knowing how to go through the daily grind of making contact with people, putting a CV together, headshots, all the stuff that Jonathan's been talking about. So we want to make it more accessible, the life of an actor.
You know, when I started out, one of the things that I really wished was there was something like we're doing now. Because one, very often at that stage, you're so intimidated, and also you don't know the people. You can't just walk up. First of all, you're not going to find the actor, and second of all, you don't want to walk up to him and say, so how do you do this? You know, and he's probably not going to tell you either.
Any actor who tells you it's easy, just do this, this, and this, walk away, run.
Exactly,
run.
You know, and if he asks you to buy him a drink, don't. We'll be rounding off with the audition, doing the whole audition, showing you the audition, going through the process, what you can expect in that audition, what you're going to be asked. And the audition piece itself, how we actually rehearse it, how we actually go through the script, what we do with the script, how we work with our characters, the choosing of a piece to do if you haven't got one. Things like this, the practicals, and hopefully you get the job.
So we really want to take the fear out for you, because maybe there are billions of great actors in the world, if only they felt more empowered to try, to take the first step to try. There's a very important aspect to all of this, and that's self-knowledge, really.
Yeah.
And what Jonathan and I have spoken about and discussed in terms of what we want to tell you is that you can't go around kidding yourself. You can't go, I want to act, or I want to go to an audition because I think I'm the next, who?
Whoever.
Al Pacino.
Okay.
Okay. And it's an idea that you've got of yourself. It's not a desire. The desire has got to be in place. The self-knowledge has got to be developed enough for you to know that you want to commit to yourself within this 100%. Otherwise, you know, we're fairly entertaining to watch, but it won't get you very far. There are many, many different ways to get started as an actor.
Yeah.
There's no one right way. Spending 3 years at a drama school isn't necessarily the only way by any stretch of the imagination, as you are living proof of. But the desire needs to be there. The desire is all, I think.
And, you know, very often people come to me and they say to me, I want to act. I want to be an actor. You know, meanwhile the guy's selling newspapers, and I say to the guy, well, then why aren't you acting? Because if you're an actor, act. And that was what I realized, was that's what I had to do. So I found a one-man show. I got that and I put that together. And I went and performed that. Now I was acting. You know, whether I was good or not didn't matter, I was doing it. Going to university, I'm sure, is a brilliant thing. You know, and it's a wonderful thing where you learn skills.
You make friends.
And also you get into the network of actors. Whereas I was coming in from nowhere, you know, I didn't have a network of actors. I was just going in and performing. And people were seeing that and they were going, yeah, well, okay, whatever.
Chutzpah. You're talking about chutzpah.
It's chutzpah. I mean, but at the same time, if you desire, if you really desire this, and if this is what you, then do it. You can only learn.
Something that I'd like to add here is, and it's quite philosophical in nature, but I think that acting in its purest form is quite, it's based in a philosophy, a life philosophy. And it would be a truth, one truth of many, that you take yourself wherever you go. So who you are determines, or how you perceive yourself, is what you're saying, determines a lot of the choices that other people are going to make for you and the choices that you would like to make for yourself. So you need to really take time, especially initially, to go, what do I want? How do I see myself as a career? Where would I like to see it grow? And once you have a mind map of sorts, you know, you can take the first step.
Get a web page. Get yourself a complete web page. Put whatever you can on that web page. Information about yourself, where to contact you, stuff that you've done. And
self-promotion, really.
Self-promotion. We're living in a world now where, you know, people are, practically everybody's walking around with a camera in their hands, on their cell phones. The medium has changed to such an extent. The creation of art has moved into all sorts of areas of where we can create. If you are an actor, you can create. And I'm saying this, if you are an actor. Saying that it's hard, what isn't hard? What's easy? You know? I'm not here to give you motivational speeches or anything like that. I'm just saying, if this is what you're going to do, and if this is what you do, then go out and grasp at everything.
I have to completely agree with that. And I have to add that I think that it can only stand you in good stead if we are talking to people who have no training, and there are always people who have no training but have the desire to act. I would seriously encourage people to get a basic training. I think it's safe. It's safer for the self. It gives confidence. And in many countries there are night classes that you can take. There are, you know, month classes, month workshops, 3-month workshops, 6-month workshops. There are top actors in the world who offer these courses, and it basically gives you a self-awareness and a starting point from which to now build the craft skills needed to actually carry you through. I don't think that for everybody training is everything. There are too many stories of people who studied maths and, you know, did an audition and got it, and their careers were launched, you know. There is no answer. There is no specific way of going about this. But what is vitally important is that the consciousness with which you approach your desire to act is open, and that you are comfortable enough with the slightly seesaw nature of what needs to happen. You know, creating work doesn't happen overnight. It is a life process, and people need to eat. And so you go and waiter. If you want to act, you know, that goal should not shift. And if you want to create, it means you want to express. And if you want to express, you are working with yourself. And so it's to be innovative about how you create opportunities for yourself. It's about thinking on your feet about yourself to get yourself in there. A very short, I think a shortcut to get experience is to make contacts with whichever film and drama schools are in your area, and to offer, literally offer services. If they're looking for actors in a student film, you know, just because there's no money attached, it doesn't mean that it's a pointless experience. Any experience, as Jonathan has said, and I agree with, any experience is valuable at this point in your life. So act for free, just act. Act in a 5-minute film, act in a 2-minute film, just act. And I think that universities and technicons and you know, film schools are a very good way of building a network of people as well, because if they work with you once, chances are they'll work with you again. And every time you work with them, you're gaining skills and providing a service to them, which means that they'll ask you back. It's probably the most practical way. And
also because that's a way of building up your showreel. And it's a way of putting something onto your web page. Because then you can always extract something from that movie, no matter how good that movie is, that works with you in it. You know, a scene where you're in it and you work well. and then use that.
Another thing, if you have any access to a video camera, even a phone camera on your phone, choose a piece, any piece, whether it's a poem or a piece of prose or a scene, if you have buddies that are wanting to do this with you, and put yourself on tape or put yourself onto your phone memory and watch yourself, watch what you're doing, watch how you think of yourself and you know what this is actually telling the lens, and study yourself so that you get, you know, so that you're not so vulnerable when you stand in front of a camera and you don't really know what they're seeing. You don't know how they perceive you. Get to know yourself on film as much as possible. Apart from, you know, getting the job, study. We have access to so much at the moment.
All the information is there for us. You know, working the voice is highly important. You know, the way you sound is so important. You know, if you've got a guy up there, he can look great. If he sounds ridiculous, it's not going to work. Work on your voice. There are millions of books. There's lots of information. Yes. In
audition, there's also acting, except you put so much stuff on it. You kind of make it into this make or break thing, and self-worth is very much tied into, will they like me? Do I look nice enough? Am I enough? Am I enough? And what that does is it takes you completely out of a moment, out of a word, out of a very fragile thing, which is recreating life. Yeah. That is what acting is. It recreates life in a moment, through what the character's feeling and saying and doing. So it's to let go of all that stuff. You know, you can't possibly think that you can go in over-focused and busk relaxation. You either see it in perspective, why you're there, and knowing what you're doing, and not take yourself so dead seriously. You know, I think that people want to go, I'm an actor, which is a great thing, but you don't have to. You know, you don't need that as a support to go and act. You just need to be and act.
I mean, you're describing me as a young actor.
Am I really?
The truth, yeah. Honestly, because I used to often go in there and I used to think I could cover things with energy. Because I knew I had energy. You know, so sometimes I used to grasp at the straws of energy. So all that stuff, the strutting around and all that was just, hit it, you know, I'm going to hit it with
see
a lot
my intensity,
of
see my intensity,
I'm going at it with guns and maybe something will come out. Which, I don't know, maybe it looks good on stage, but with film...
Doesn't work.
No, you know, I found the more I can just go in there and just have a good time, do the thing, talk to the people, and just do.
And be centered, be focused.
And then there are some auditions where you go in and you need to make a bold choice. You need to actually jump out from the crowd. And that is a decision that you have to make. You know, sometimes that can work. There can be something in there and you make a very bizarre, bold choice on a character. And suddenly you hit them with that. And that can bounce out of everything else.
Because you're making them see it differently. So you're shifting their perception of what the character should be, you know, or what they're looking for. And that's a very potent tool that an actor has. Is that the more confident you are within yourself to make that leap, to make that bold choice, the more you can become the choice in the audition, the more the playing field changes. It levels out a bit. So it's not them looking for something specific anymore. It's them going, I never thought of it in that way. And it sticks. It sticks in their minds.
Yes. Okay. So now we've actually got an audition, right? And if we're fortunate enough, we've got a couple of days beforehand to prepare for the audition. And if we're even more fortunate, we have a very good actress to help us. So now Wilmina is going to help me with this. And we're going to show you now how we work through the script before we go to the audition. You know, how we're going to actually do cuts on this. We're using Macbeth, right, a scene out of that. And we're going to do cuts on that. We're going to, you know, show you how we actually move this thing around and do different interpretations, different energies, and prepare ourselves for the audition. Then after that, we're going to take you through the actual audition, where everything is going to change. But then at least you'll be prepared a little bit for it, because you would have seen how we do it. Okay, so now we take the script as it is.
The thing about getting the script is that you're looking for clues. That's the first step. You're analyzing the script to see what kind of character it is that they're wanting you to play. Bearing in mind, as Jonathan and I have mentioned earlier, that you're going to be cast for very specific reasons, for your quality, for your energy, for your look. So now that they've decided that, you know, you're one of 100 who might be called for an audition, you're going to approach the script and you're going to be looking for novelty. You're going to be trying to decode who this person is that you're going to bring to life in the audition. So we're going to discuss some stuff.
You see, also, you must realize you're going to be there, as Vaughan said, I'm basically praising what she's saying, but you're going to go there and show them what you can do. That's the main thing. You don't want to go there to show off the script. You're going there to show them what you can do, you know, and what's valuable about you for that part. Okay.
Good.
Okay, now we're going to basically try and demonstrate the use of pauses, listening, and reaction, which, because we're working with camera, you're going to pick up a lot more thought that's going on than actually needs to be there in words. Like when you're on stage, you might need a lot more blah, blah, blah to pump out what you're actually doing. The essence is always still trying to attain your own truth. But here we're just demonstrating how you can use it, even in this context, you know. Okay. He's here in double trust. First as I'm his kinsman and his subject, both strong against the deed. And is his host, who should shut the door against his murderer, not bear the knife myself. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, except vaulting ambition which leaps itself and falls on another. Yeah. We proceed no further in this business.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept? And does it wake to look so pale and green at what it did so freely? From this time such, I account my love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thy own act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou rather have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem? Letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage.
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that would become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that broke this enterprise to me? I have given suck. I know how it feels to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked the nipple from its boneless gums and dashed its brains out, had I promised as you have sworn to this.
If we should fail,
then we fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place and we will not fail.
I'm settled.
A pointer, and a good pointer, not just for auditions, but also for onset and doing scenes, being in scenes, is that you've got to remember to wait for the director to call cut. In other words, you've got to keep the moment alive because the camera is rolling and on you until the moment that the director decides that the moment has reached its natural conclusion. So you've got to sustain the emotional state that you're in until you are told or feel it. You'll feel it. It doesn't just stop. Usually there's a trailing off. If you're really in the moment and if you're really feeling the emotional kind of reality that you find yourself in, you won't be able to just snap out of it. So that's something to be aware of and to have integrity with, I think, in terms of your own preparation and performance, is that it's a way of knowing that you're being present in a moment. The director will take you out of it. So Jonathan and I are going to be talking you through the audition process, what actually happens in an audition.